I will come back to the question which Shubhro started, that has this structure failed or is there any imperfection in the structure? And I strongly feel that there is this structure which has been, the original guideline which the Government of India framed under Section 63 of the Electricity Act is itself flawed in many ways. Now, before I come to the legal nuances of that, I'd like to highlight that we are dealing with not a contract simpliciter where two people are doing business with each other. We are dealing with a situation where infrastructure is to be developed in this country. And for the purpose of development of infrastructure, we are looking at a partner. So it's not a contract simpliciter that if one party fails, he loses his money, goes out, somebody else comes in. It's a case where we are actually building up infrastructure, and that infrastructure needs to be viable. And that infrastructure needs to run its course. I feel that under the Electricity Act, when the duty was cast on the central government to frame guidelines, what they have really done is basically given a technical guideline of how the bidding should take place. There is no vision in the document. There is no imagination in the document. Like if you all will remember, in the telecom sector, when the first privatization took place, the model for inviting bid was called a beauty parade. I don't know whether you're aware. It was the telecom partners were selected by a beauty parade. What's the beauty parade? Beauty parade is that you will say what all features are you going to give in your offer. What is rural penetration? How will tariff be? How soon will you roll out? So on those parameters which are the attributes of a beauty, like a beauty contest, you look at the eyes, you look at the face, you look at the figure. So the participants who participated in the tender were selected on that basis. That still failed, and because of which it had to be changed in spite of there being a bid, in spite of there being sanctity of bid. It was changed, and it was changed to a different model, which we have seen over a period of time has succeeded. As far as the guidelines are concerned, the guidelines, according to me, should not have simpliciter put everything on the bidder. Now, where they say that you can interfere in a concluded contract. But how? By regulation. So the regulator is supposed to make regulations. So according to me, there were two stages where we have lost out. The first stage is in the guidelines. If the guidelines had enough checks and balances, if the guidelines had said that, look here, even in a competitive bidding bid, you give me your breakup. What is your breakup qua the fuel cost? What is your breakup towards the capital cost? The breakup towards the ROI that you are keeping, the interest rate, etc. All these things should have been part of the bid process. So if one were to fail, there could be some corrective mechanism. Why, if you are asking for a bid of, say, 2 rupee 80 paisa or a 3 rupee 50 paisa, why can't the bid be broken up into 5 and say what are the elements of this bid?
Mr. Singh.
If you have the elements of this bid, then probably you can at some stage correct that process by a regulation which will say, look here, this particular has failed, this has gone way beyond what it should have been, and accordingly it needs to be corrected.
Right. So we'll get into the details. I think some of them are...
So I was basically reacting on the guidelines that they have according to be failed.